Dear human being, beloved soul, I welcome you to my podcast series, Conversations with the Universe. After a near-death experience, my perception of our human existence changed profoundly. I became more sensitive, with all our known senses. I feel more intensely, see people with different eyes, and often take a different perspective on life and our challenges. In my books, I share these altered perspectives and all the knowledge that has flowed through me since my near death and thus record it. For all those who are searching for something more, for the meaning of our existence here on Mother Earth. And it is now a great pleasure for me to share this knowledge with you in this way as a supplement to my books. This season I am dedicating myself to my very first work, the basics of being. I wish you many wonderful insights on your path. Thank you. Love.
First, a quick note about my network, Spine. This is short for the Spiritual Network and is the first global social media network for holistic knowledge, awareness, spirituality, and above all, a bridge between providers and seekers. I invite you to join us and connect with me there. Feel free to look around, find lots of podcasts, events, healers, but above all, lots of inspiration to grow. It's free. But now let's start with today's episode. The animal in you seeks spiritual awakening, and the God in you seeks spiritual growth through experiencing the animal. Separating something that belongs together results in one always seeking the other. If you take away this connection, both begin to feel a void that causes them to wander through life and become increasingly desperate in their search. When the despair becomes great enough, belief patterns are created that are so complex that they fill all the longings and hopes that have arisen with explanations and stories. This creates a missing link between spirit and animal, which in its mature form can form an entire religion. But beliefs, and by extension, religions, do not make believers and religious people wiser, kinder, or more loving. In the current age of illusion, even the longing impulse of a single person is enough to further promote the longing void in people through their power, and consequently, their strong will. Like a self-sustaining system that aims to gain the greatest possible power over other people, people's longing is fueled rather than the fulfillment of the emptiness. The goal of the system is not to maintain abundance, but rather to maintain people's neediness and, above all, the fear in their hearts. But as you know, fear closes the gate. Fear takes away our connection to the worlds and thus all our power. This is the disease of all religions in this world, because the people who lead these religions are not pure. Their impulses are not pure impulses, but impulses of power. Was it not the animal that formed the ego in its negation? That is exactly how it is, and that is why it is the animal part of man that wants to live power. So it is also the animal in us that forms religions. The animal that has lost its connection to nature, and the animal that is not aware of the divine spark within itself. This animal needs faith. Religions derive their power over the human spirit from the unconsciousness of the individual. Taken together, these individuals form a collective mass that has no consciousness or self-awareness whatsoever. This lack of consciousness makes the masses slaves to every kind of religion. The goal of all religious leaders is to maintain their power, and their power is the unconsciousness of the masses. Then a flash of lightning becomes a god. Healing with natural laws becomes a miracle. Then, even campaigns against one's own race become holy wars. Then there is the one responsible, who is to blame for the passage of time and to whom man must surrender. Then man is allowed to become a lamb again, obediently and dependently, doing what others tell him to do. Then they have a community to which they can retreat, and which supports them, but above all prevents them from finding themselves. Faith is a form of ignorance, but not knowing has many components. On the one hand, there is a particular powerlessness in people, a resignation that does not want to experience anything for themselves and prefers to be a follower rather than a loner. On the other hand, there are people who take advantage of this powerlessness and do not communicate real knowledge. In addition, there are certain people who enjoy oppressing others in order to control them. Many people who are searching but, for various reasons, lack strength can thus be oppressed and exploited by a few people who know but hide this knowledge. Religion is the ulcer of a large mass of people who, in their separation, have all lost sight of their true path, their true destiny. Therefore, they only live out diversionary tactics that are rotten at the root and full of power and cruelty towards the animal and the God within us. Name me a religion that does not act from the ego of an individual, i.e., that identifies with matter. Name me a religion that shows you the God within you who can consciously create things. Name me a religion that does not suppress femininity and thus crushes the power of the joint creation of male and female energy. We will not find such a religion, for they all live in extremes because they all remain in the illusion of separateness and thus never live the full potential of God and animal in their opportunity for humanization, let alone truly communicate the knowledge of the divine. Fear is the tool of the powerful, and laziness is their motivation. The reason for this is quite simple. Humans would no longer be controllable if they lived up to their true potential, and then our entire society would fall apart. To believe is to not know. For many people, however, religion provides the stability they otherwise lack. But none of them ask why they feel so unstable. Convenience ultimately drives them into the arms of a religion that also provides them with a social construct, i.e., guidance. And people need guidance. However, this type of help is similar to that offered by some medical professionals today. It is not the cause that is treated, but the symptoms. The religions of our world do not fill the void in people, but respond to it with prohibitions, celibacy, and fear of a God. In doing so, they create separation once again, and thus another symptom. Experiencing knowledge is the goal of your soul, which immerses itself in the organism in order to experience being through emotions and thereby become this knowledge. How much of the tool body as a channel for spiritual impulses and as a materializer or implementer of these impulses is conveyed to you by the religions of this world? Isn't it precisely the religions that demonize our bodies, that call on us to renounce our emotions and turn away from devotion? Therefore, do not believe, but experience knowledge within yourself. If you renounce these tools of being, you renounce the actual potential of your work here in this incarnation. You can only experience everything spiritual, every connection to other worlds, and thus to yourself through your body. It carries within itself all the answers you seek in churches, temples, mosques, or on the way of saint. James, and it is the God that shapes your life with the help of your spirit. It is the form that wants to and can express all that you truly are on this plane, and thus it is the greatest gift that the cycle of being gives you. Use it and honor it. You can learn everything you want to know if you set out on a quest and honor and care for your body as your tool. It will give you everything you seek if you only seek within it and with it. The heart within it is the gateway to the worlds and thus the key to connecting with your spiritual part on the other planes. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Love. And I would like to remind you to join our community Spine. We are a community that wants to help you live a healthier life, practice your spirituality, and expand your consciousness. We help you find and connect with healers around the world, and we help you give your life a new meaning in different ways. We are Spine, connections that help.